What's going on, everybody? So it's been a while since I have covered a Craft the Brew product, but here we are. My friends at Craft the Brew sent me this mead making kit. This is a 1 gallon mead making kit. I have never made mead ever in my time of brewing. I've only made beer, and recently I started making wine. Although you don't see very many videos on the wine part. It's very just uneventful, just moving it back and forth between containers. But anyways, we're here to focus on this mead kit, which is very similar to wine in that it uses honey instead of fruit juice and a blend of honey and water to make the mead. So we're going to see what's inside this package and make a batch of mead with it. And it is almost holiday time, so this is a great time. Right now it's November 2023. Right now is a great time to start thinking about those that you love or those that are dear to you, and if they want to try making their own batch of meads, this might be the best option for you. It comes with everything you need. So let's go ahead and get into this package. One thing I can say is they are fantastic at their packaging. I mean, that is just stellar. They're just the vintage look of their packaging artwork makes you want to buy their product. I'll tell you straight up, I really love the vintage designs on all their products. So very well packaged. This is a very thick box, actually. So when you open it up, we get a mead making guide, and even the print on this mead making guide is a step up. Nice glossy instructions. You almost don't even want to throw these away. So we're going to definitely use these to put this to use. Okay, also in the package we have, looks like some potassium sorbate, a koozie, and looks like a packing slip. And we got a little bit of some paper here. We'll set that aside. They even send you a 3-piece airlock with a bung, and it looks like a siphon clamp or a hose clamp, so you can stop the flow when you're bottling. And a little, looks like a little racking cane tube, like a racking cane siphon tip to keep from sucking up trub or yeast from the bottom of your fermenter. Very cool. And in here we have some sanitizer, some Lalvin yeast. It's a wine yeast. Makes sense since we're making a mead, you use a wine yeast. Let's go ahead and open this up and take a little, kind of hard to see what's in here. So no rinse sanitizer. You use this to sanitize the fermenter, and anything that touches the mead anything that touches the honey water blend before you actually ferment it. We have some yeast nutrients. They even have this labeled as nutrient day 1 pack, and then there's a day 2 pack. So you're going to put in these when you put in the initial yeast dose, and then we'll put in another dose of yeast nutrients afterwards. I'm going to set these all over to the side here. All right, let's see what else is in here. All right, poking through the top of the box, we have a little mini racking cane. That's pretty cute. It's the smallest racking cane I've ever seen in my life. Ta-da! Yeah, man. Very cool. A little funnel, so you can put the water and honey into your fermenter. Some more paper. Sometimes it's good to unfold this stuff, make sure you aren't missing anything. All right, and we have our fermenter, a little 1 gallon. Oh, this is a very cute, like this isn't just a regular 1 gallon carboy, or what they call shine jug. You know, if you're making moonshine, this is what people think of when they think of moonshine, as a moonshine jug. But they actually have a little gear and hop emblem on. That's pretty cool, man. Even if you never use this again, it's really cool to put on your shelf as something just to look at. But I'm definitely going to use this one for sure in the future again to make more mead. And you get the tubing for your cane. So there we go. All right. I'm going to move all the packaging aside, and then we are going to get started with the instructions on how to make this mead. Okay, I went and got a stainless steel bowl here that I'm going to keep my sanitizer in. For the sanitizer pack, they tell you to only use half of it for now, and you're going to use the other half for bottling day. They say to have 8 16-ounce flip top bottles. I've got 12-ounce bottles. We'll go with 12. I may pick up some flip tops. We'll see through this whole process if I go ahead and order some of those or not. But I understand the concept of flip tops is that you can just pour some, flip them closed, and save the rest for later. But I might just consume a whole bottle in a sitting. You never know if I'm sharing it with anyone. so we are not going to need the cane or the tubing for this part of the video. So I'm just going to set this aside as well. We will need our funnel, we will need our fermenter, and we will need 2.5 pounds of honey. I actually have a 5-pound bottle here of wildflower honey, and we're just going to go with that. So I'm really only going to need half this bottle, and then I'll save the other half for making another batch down the road maybe. So let's get to rocking and rolling here. They say use spring water. I'm going to use my tap water because my tap water runs through filtration and everything. So my water is fantastic for making beer and brewing and everything. So we're good on the water front. And they say to get a gallon of that. They're not picky about what honey you use. It says honey of your choice, whatever honey flavor that you prefer. Wildflower, clover, blossom, orange blossom, any of those kind of honeys will work with this. Any kind of honey that you actually like the taste of. And they say the yeast strain, this Lalvin yeast strain, will leave, according to their instructions here, it will leave a little bit of some sweetness behind and honey aroma in the finished product, which is what we do want in our mead. So let's get to making the must. Now the must is just basically like it's like the equivalent of like wort in beer. Must is just the unfermented wine or unfermented mead. So we're going to take the jug. It's a 1-gallon jug. We're going to fill it up pretty full, and we're going to put the sanitizer in that and like mix it up a little bit in here, and we'll sanitize the jug at the same time as we're mixing this stuff around. And then I'll just pour it into my little bowl here, and then I can put all my other items in there to sanitize. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'll fill this with some water, mix up half the packet of sanitizer, and we'll get back to it. All right, we got our 1 gallon of water here. It says 1 gallon right here. Usually when it says 1 gallon right there, that usually indicates that the gallon mark is about right there where those letters are. So we'll go ahead and mix up half of this. See if I can do it without spilling it. Just pour it in there. There we go. So far, so good. You can do a little more. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll save the rest for bottling day. Let's go ahead and take advantage of this bung here so I can agitate this sanitizer and I'm going to take the bung and I'm just going to put it on top. Put my finger over it. That's a bubbly sanitizer, almost like Star San. Wipe up my mess. All right, now I'm going to take this sanitizer and pour it in my bowl. I should be able to put a gallon in here, so we'll see. Yeah, I think so. Easily. All right, so this holds, I'm going to dump some of this sanitizer out because I don't need this much. Okay. All right, I'm going to put the bung in the sanitizer. I'm going to put this funnel in there and I'm going to let them sit in there for about 60 seconds according to this. So about a minute exposure to the sanitizer. I don't need the hose clip either for now. I'm going to put my airlock in there as well. Just kind of let those sit in there. And we'll let those sit there for a minute. Now the next step is it says, gather 2.5 pounds of honey and 1 gallon of spring water. We're just going to use my tap water for this. And I'm going to fill my jug with just half a gallon. So I'm just going to fill the jug up halfway, half a gallon of water. All right, here we are. I got half a gallon of water here. The instructions now say pour about 1/3 of the 2.5 pounds of honey into the carboy. And then plug the top with the sanitized stopper. Cover the hole with a clean thumb. Swirl and shake until the honey is completely dissolved. So we will do that here in just a second. All right, guys. It is time to add the honey. And I don't really think I'm going to need to use the funnel for this because my honey has a tiny output. It's just one of these guys, so I think we'll be good there. I don't think I'll need the funnel for this part at least. So I'm going to mark this real quick. So what I've done is I've marked my honey with little indicators, so I know once I get to this line I'm 1/3, that line's another 1/3, and that's the whole thing. A little bit of guesstimating, but not really. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to mix 1/3 in. Why am I not using a funnel, you ask? Because, I don't know, just if I don't have to get it dirty. Man, on the money. Exactly 1/3 of the 2.5. So now we're going to put our sanitized stopper on. My thumb on there. We're just going to mix it up real good. That's pretty well mixed. I'd say, yeah, pretty well mixed. So far, so good. Let's continue. What else does it say? Swirl and shake till the honey's completely dissolved. We did that. We're good there. Continue to add the rest of the honey 1/3 at a time. Okay. So we're just going to add the other 1/3, shake it around, dissolve. Add the next 1/3, shake it around, dissolve, and then I believe we'll just top it up to the 1 gallon with the water. Here we go. If I could go back and do this again, I marked from the top down for my thirds. If I had marked from the bottom up, I would never have to keep turning the jar over, or would never have to keep turning the bottle over to see where I'm at on my markings. I just leave the bottle on top and just monitor the markings. So if you're gonna make this, and you happen to use some Kirkland Signature Wildflower honey for this project, mark from the bottom up. That's your tip for this video, one of your big ones. We're done with all the honey. We've added all the honey we need to add. 2.5 pounds. What do we do next? They say go ahead and just top it up with water to just above the 1 gallon letters. That's the indicator for the 1 gallon mark. I thought so. So let's go ahead and do that. Put the bung back into sanitizer for now. There we have it. So next, what do we do? This is very much like making wine. Very much like it. Add the entire packet of, I did this backwards actually. I was supposed to add the day 1 nutrients in first. I don't think this is going to hurt anything, that I kind of went out of sequence here. But we're going to just tear the corner of these nutrients off. And I'm going to pour them right in there. We shall see. I can see they don't want to go down because of all the foam in the neck. Oops. Oh well, this will work out. What I'll probably end up doing here is taking a sanitized, actually I'll take the cane, sanitize it right quick, and then I'll kind of stir that stuff down in there. Cane. Let it sit in there for about a minute. Okay. We'll take the cane here, see how this goes. Stir this stuff on down in there. See if I can get some of that foam out of the way. What I could do, honestly, is I could put the bung on there, which is the little rubber stopper guy. Could put that back on there and agitate this up if I wanted. There's still a little room in there to get a little stir going. Okay, nutrients is down in there, and I've actually made enough space in the foam here with the cane. I just got to wash this thing, that I can use the yeast packet, which I want to dip in sanitizer as well. Sanitize your scissors also. We'll give that another minute here. Okay, it's been a minute. Go ahead and cut the top off here of my yeast. Go ahead and add it in slowly. Okay, so according to this is it. We will take our stopper, which I threw back in the sanitizer here, and our airlock. As a matter of fact, you know what I want to do right quick. They don't tell you to do this in the instructions, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'll put the stopper in. I'm going to give a little agitation just to get the yeast out of the neck of the bottle here. Okay. Now you see all the yeast and nutrient and everything going down in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry the stopper off with a paper towel so that this guy will stick down in there, because the thing about glass and these rubber bungs is sometimes the glass, it wants to slip out of the glass. So we're just going to push it down in there pretty good. I'm going to take my airlock and just enough, it's filled just enough so that the bell inside can move up and down. I'm going to pour a little bit more out. Just enough solution in there so the outside air can't come in, but it allows that little bell in there to move up and down to release the CO2 as it's produced by the fermentation. And you just put that in there like that. All right. Okay, just a quick recap on this. All we did with this basically is we filled the jug halfway with water, did half a gallon of water, added the honey 1/3 at a time and agitated it and switched it around till it was dissolved. Each third was dissolved till we got to 2.5 pounds. We were supposed to then add the yeast nutrient in there, then bring the volume up to the 1 gallon mark, and then add the yeast. The way I did it wasn't quite per instructions, but this will turn out fine. I've done enough fermentation and brewing and everything that I'm not worried about slipping outside the line a little bit. But I didn't have to use the funnel at all. Because I was using the type of honey that I was using, I could just squeeze it right into the fermenter without issue. But it is very cool that they do provide one. This is useful for other brewing activities too, so don't throw these out when you get them. Keep them or use them for your kitchen, whatever. The other thing is, in the beginning of the video here, I mentioned that this was a 2nd day yeast pack. This is actually a 2nd and 5th day yeast pack. So you'll use half of this on day 2, and then you'll use the rest on day 5. And what this is because it will be, I guess, fairly alcoholic. I'm not sure what the ABV will be on this. We will figure that out at the end. But it will... this will keep the yeast happy and going because the alcohol gets too strong and the yeast run out of sugar or whatever to feed on. They need additional nutrients in their lives to continue out the fermentation process. So I never use yeast nutrients when I'm brewing beer, although some people do. I never do, but it is always optional and it doesn't hurt to use them. So I'm going to store this in a cool area around 70, 72 degrees, probably in my office on the floor, because if you don't have temperature control in your home, such as like a cooling setup or whatever for your fermentation, set it at the lowest point in your home, usually because heat rises and cool air falls. So the coolest part will be on your floor, in a place that won't be disturbed by anybody, and preferably out of sunlight. So we will get back to this when we add the other yeast nutrients, and we will be doing a little bit of degassing on this as well. And the way we will degas this is we can either use a wine whip of sort to put down in there and stir and degas. The other option is we kind of swirl it, agitate it a little bit, put the bung on, agitate it a little bit, let the CO2 out, agitate some more, let the CO2 off, agitate some more, let the CO2 off. And then eventually you'll get all the gas out of the mead, and then that's when we'll add the next batch of yeast nutrients. So we will continue this here for that part in the next clips here. What's going on, guys? This is the last leg of the video. Thank you so much, Craft Brew, for sending me that Mead kit. It was fun to do. I was able to bottle it just fine. I did have a few hiccups with the racking cane when I was using it. It would lose siphon on me a couple times, and I practiced siphoning with it a few times with just water. But as I got to the lower part of the bottle, you see that I had trouble there. And so what I ended up doing was just taking the funnel in the last bottle and just pouring the meat in. Now that is highly frowned upon to do that, but if you're going to do it, make sure that's the first bottle you drink, right? So I have behind me the bottle of mead, nicely chilled and everything. I can't wait to dig into this and see how it turned out. So let's get this going. Here she is, non-carbonated. I did degas it as much as I could. So we'll see if it's got any fizz in it or anything, but let's go ahead and pop the top. Yep. No smoke in it or nothing, so that's good. Got a little wine glass here. Figured mead is very similar to wine as far as what it is. You're just fermenting honey instead of grape juice. Let's do just that little bit there. There she is up close to the camera. Nice golden color to it. Pretty darn good looking, man. Oh, it smells like wine. Oh, yeah, it smells really good, man. Very sweet. I did back sweeten it with 4 ounces of honey, and that was, I figured that's enough to sweeten this thing up. Get a little smell. There you go. Let's go on for the kill here. It smells so sweet. Oh man, that's so good. It's very sweet. Like that 4 ounces of honey is plenty for this batch. I would not go any stronger unless you really want it to be sweet. This is pretty sweet already. I could taste some of the yeast. It's still young. It's still a young mead. I could taste the yeast a little bit in there, or the yeasty esteriness of the yeast. It's not overpowering though, but it's there. And a little bit on the nose, but the yeast definitely takes, the mead definitely takes over on the flavor profile though. Now this was a wildflower honey. I might try making mead with a different type of honey, you know. I have the kit. I have the fermenter ready to go again. All I need is yeast, some potassium sorbate. I think it's called potassium sorbate. That's what kills the yeast so it doesn't ferment that back sweetening that you do to the honey. You can also drink it dry, which means don't add any honey to it at all after it's done, and it'll be drier and not as sweet. And I did put a little lid on the fermenter, but there she is, ready to go for another round. And you'll see I do have a few extra of these little guys laying around without the cool hop icon and gear. So I won't say I have extra of these laying around. And so I did transfer over to another one so I could do the back sweetening and everything. So, but yeah, she's ready to go, and I may do another batch of that. I might try a different honey though, maybe like an orange honey or something like that. But yeah, man, it's fantastic. Like I said, thanks so much to Craft Brew. It's Christmas time, man. You haven't gotten a Christmas present yet for that home brewer in your life, or maybe somebody who might want to make their own mead, somebody that's real fond of meads. You can pick up the kit for like 50 bucks at craftthebrew.com. And it comes with everything you need except the honey. Just get yourself some honey and you're set. And the honey wasn't terribly expensive. I think I picked up 5 pounds of honey for like $11. It wasn't terribly expensive. And I only needed 2.5 pounds of that. So very delicious, very much a good wintertime drink. Oh man, it's so good. It's really, really good. That's my first time ever making mead. Now I did also, I must say, I did also go the extra mile and buy some Grolsch bottles. I don't remember, I think I paid like 20 bucks or maybe 30 bucks for a pack of 16 of these guys or something. But it ended up, I only needed 7 of them. And I want to say they're 16-ounce bottles, but some were filled a little fuller than the others. Like I said, I had a little fun trying to use the wrecking cane, but was able to use it to get it done. I have other ways to fill bottles here in my brewery. But anyways, thank you so much everybody for paying attention and watching this video all the way to this point. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe and go get yourself a Mead kit. Make yourself some wintertime Mead. And I'll put a link down at the bottom where you can pick that up. Cheers, guys.